What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I want to go over 3 reasons that I'm super optimistic about reselling. So let's get straight into the video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, I talk about building an online store. So please smash the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. So let's get straight into it. The number one reason that I'm really confident about reselling, it's one of the only occupations that I know that has no ceiling. So I actually do 3 things. 1, I run a YouTube channel. Number 2, I have a consulting business showing people how to run an online store. And number 3, I have an online store with about 5,000 items right now. Now here's the thing, when I look at my time and my week, this store is the only thing that I can grow to any size. All I have to do is add more people and more supply, and the business grows. Jeff Bezos, the richest person in the world, is essentially a reseller. His company, Amazon, invented FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon, which leverages literally millions of sellers in the United States and around the world to sell items for him, right? So this situation that we're in as far as reselling, the number one reason why I'm the most optimistic about it is all you need to do is just start with 1 listing a week, grow that to 2, grow that to 3. You have to make sure that you manage your cash flow, which is gonna get me into tip number 2, but you can grow this to any size. This is why I'm so excited about this. It might take longer than you think, but you can grow it to any size. So if you're like me, when I first saw reselling, I thought it was this magical golden road, right? This road to riches. And just like you, I showed up and I found out that the road is not gold, it's not even paved, and you have to pave it yourself. I'm not sure where that analogy came from, but I feel like that's perfectly true when it comes to reselling. There are people who can kind of guide you, like, hey, if you go thrifting or to the flea market, or if you start calling distributors for wholesale, that'll give you like a little bit of it, but it's not the same as getting in there and paving this road for yourself. And I just want to let you guys know, you can go as far as you want with this. So that to me is really motivating, knowing that there are people who list 9,000 items a day, and there are people that are just getting started. For me, I'm very inspired by that. I don't really worry about the comparison game too much. Okay, let's get into reason number 2 that I'm super excited about reselling. I'm going to be giving away one of my reseller field guides in every single video. So today's giveaway question is going to be, name one of the other Pokemon starter Pokemon. There are 3 of them. This is Bulbasaur. There's 2 other ones. If you can name one of those in the comment section below, I'll enter you in the guide giveaway, and I'll give away one in every single video. So number 2, the reason why I really love reselling is there's actually a limit for how many items you can list per week depending on how much time you have. Now this is like when I was in school and they gave me a topic for an essay, I would crush it. But when they said write an essay about anything, I would really struggle. And that's how I feel like a lot of resellers, including myself, sometimes feel. There's a million different ways to do this. You can go online, you can go local, you can build relationships with your local brick and mortar, you can partner with real estate agents, you can partner with professional organizers, you can find stuff anywhere. And with the state of retail going down the drain because people can't afford these ridiculous commercial leases, online is becoming a huge thing. There are more and more ways to get supply. But what gives me comfort is knowing I only have so much time to work on this. If I look at how many hours are in the day, how much time I spend with my family, how much time I spend cooking, eating, going to the bathroom, sleeping, there's only a few hours in the day that you can actually list. So once I realized that, it actually made me feel a lot better, because I was thinking, you know what? Realistically, even for me, the maximum number of listings that I can personally do is only 100 items a week. Now I'm talking, this is in addition to all the other stuff that I do. You can hire people to list for you, but I'm saying me personally, I can't do more than 100 items a week with the amount of time that I have, which is only 10 hours. So I tell people, if you can get to the point where you could list an item in 6 minutes, right? This is the photography and listing part. There are 8 systems with reselling, which I go over in my book, but it's pretty straightforward. Sorting, grading, photography, listing, shipping, cross-listing, customer service, accounting. That should take about 6 minutes. Now I say in my videos that 10 minutes total. The reason why I'm saying that is it takes time to actually find the item, right? So I put 4 of the 10 minutes that takes you on average actually looking for the item. So now that you know, okay, I only have 10 hours a week to work on this, I can only do 100 items per week. Now you start to think about, okay, how much capital do I have and how long before I actually need that money back? This is super key. So let's say you had $1,000 and you can't risk it because you need it for rent next month. You're in a very different situation than someone who has a full-time job paying the bills, and this $1,000 is just money that would go into the stock market or would go into a 401k. That's a very different situation than you only have $1,000 and you need it for $800 rent next month. The way that I would approach that is I would assume $800 of it is already spent for rent. That gives me a budget of only $200. I know now when I go and find an item, it needs to sell right away because I need that capital to buy something new. So there's two ways to do it. Either I would go find stuff, the best items I could with the $200 and wait for them to sell before I reinvest, or I could be looking for items that sell super fast and might be expensive. An example might be a Nintendo Switch. Right now, people are getting upwards of 5% cash back on their credit cards, and the Nintendo Switch is $300. So if you buy for $300, you already make $15 back in cash back rewards on that. There are people online like myself who will buy a Switch from you for retail. So I'll pay $300 for a Switch that you pay $300 for. You just made $15 for selling it to me with very little risk. You get the item, you send it to me, that's it. You get paid out, right? This is kind of like a job, not really like reselling, because you're just working for me, going out and finding a specific SKU for me. I learned about this in 2 different BOLO groups. So as you guys know, I'm now experimenting with retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. I'm learning how it works because a lot of people have been asking me, how do I find stuff to sell? So how you find stuff to sell is you find out what other people are doing, where these goods actually come from. You join as many forums as you can in that specific niche, and then you start. So let me give you an example. I'm in a group called Discounters. In that group, they talk about retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, meaning stuff that you get like at Walmart or Target, or stuff that you get at Best Buy. Now, from my understanding so far, 80% of the leads in these group are essentially the same. One of them is the Nintendo Switch, which is available pretty much every Best Buy, right? So everyone knows about that one, but without me being in the group, I honestly did not know because I'm not in that category. So when I find out about a blow dryer, or when I watch people talking about hair cutting supplies, that to me, I level up every single time I get a piece of that information, so it's worth it. Now, it's easy to get super overwhelmed. That's why I need to go back to how much money do you have and how soon do you need it. With a limited amount of capital, you actually need more information and less transactions. So what that means is, if you only have $200, research 29 days out of the month and just buy one thing that sells in one day, because you only have a limited amount of capital. Once you start having more money, you can start gambling a little bit and figuring and guessing how long things are going to take. You can buy something for $200 that might sell for $400 in a year, like Legos. History has proven that investing in Legos is better than the stock market. So if you had a little more extra capital, you could buy $200 worth of Legos. And if your goal is to double your money, you could wait up to 5 years potentially to double your money, or you could be looking for something that doubles right now, which would mean something that's in short supply and higher in demand, something that people need right now that they can't get. That's what you would be looking for in a BOLO group like Discounters, or now I actually just joined West Coast Goods. That's a pretty cool one. One of the moderators is actually in my area. So it's interesting looking at the BOLOs that they present because they're literally in my area. Depending on where you live, retail arbitrage might not exist. If you live in the middle of nowhere where there are not Targets and Walmarts and Best Buys, within 100 miles of where I live, there's probably 1,000 retail stores I can shop at. There's like more than 10 Walmarts, more than 10 Targets, 200 Ross, Burlington's. There's every single kind of Nike factory outlet. Every single one of these options for reselling is available. Outlets, I have more than 300 thrift stores. There are 5 Goodwill outlets. That can be definitely overwhelming, but if you live in Montana, there might not be any of that, so your only option is online arbitrage. So if that's the case, join a whole bunch of online arbitrage groups, find out what they're selling. unsubscribe from all the retail arbitrage opportunities because those aren't available to you. So you basically uncheck the items that are not available to you. For most people who are watching this video, wholesale is not available to you because you don't have a brick and mortar and you don't know someone who's willing to partner with you in a brick and mortar, and you don't have the capital to invest in stuff that has really tiny margins. As a wholesaler, you spending $200, you could expect back between $20 and $40 and be very happy with your $200 investment. Versus if you're just getting started, you want to turn that 200 into 400 so the next week you can do more. So I actually recommend, if you're in that situation, focus on cheaper items that you can sell for $30 or more. That's like the sweet spot, because a lot of people have enough money to buy something that's $30, not something that's $300, $400, $500. So you're getting that large audience of people, but you're out there hunting. So you've got to go in there and put the elbow grease in. But the nice thing is that you have all month to do it. You actually have time. If you have only a few $100s to invest in this, no problem. You've just got to be really, really smart about where you put that money so that you don't get stuck with something that doesn't move. Because the thing that kills all resale businesses in the beginning is inventory that's not selling. So that's why I would rather you not sell stuff under $30. I hear that like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store and buy something for $1 and sell it for $12. I made money, right? Yes, but you burned one of your valuable life units listing it, right? You only have so many life units. So we're in this simulation together, and I want you guys to maximize your experience in this video game of life with me. So if we only have 10 hours to work with, let's list stuff that's over $30 if we can. It's gonna take time. You're gonna have to scour Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist. You're gonna have to bug your aunts and uncles and your cousins that you don't like. That's okay. You're gonna have to sell the couch that you sit on in the living room and sit on the floor. That's fine. You can always buy that back on eBay again once you get some more capital. So be resourceful. Think about what's around you. Sell everything that you own. And let's get into tip number 3. So the third thing that's got me jazzed about reselling is that it's become very mature. Even in the last 3 years that I have been doing it, there's now information available on every single kind of reselling. You can find people who only sell books, people who only sell Pokemon cards, people who only sell cell phones, people who only sell digital content, people who only sell Facebook memberships. Every single kind of way to monetize is available. You guys are welcome to email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. If you need an example of someone who's made money doing something, I can probably point you in that direction. As Tony Robbins would say, success leaves clues. So you can now just copy the people who are doing exactly what you want to do. So you guys know I had that new partnership with Tech and Sports. One of the reasons why I decided to work with Tech and Sports is because he's in a position that I would like to be in, right? I would like to have I would like to make millions of dollars and invest it in the real estate. So why not find somebody who's already done that, right? Who's 10 steps ahead of the game of you, and just copy them, right? I'm literally asking him, like, what are you eating? What kind of pants are you wearing? I want to know exactly what you're doing. I'm just going to do that because I don't have an ego. I'm insignificant in this gigantic world. All I want to do is just copy the things that work. I don't need to be creative and invent how to do it. You inventing some magical new way of reselling is not necessary. All the people have figured out how all the different kinds of reselling works. In fact, I actually think it's possible now to master more than one because the information is so good. You can the thing is, it's just a matter of having enough capital, time, and expertise to put it all into place, because there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. That's the part that they leave out in all these get rich quick things is, yes, you can do it in a short amount of time, but that just means you did more work in less time. It's not like there was less things to do. You still got to master all the different systems, meet all the right people. You've got to scale certain parts in your business to get to a certain point. You also have to recognize that every single niche has its ins and outs. So the question that you always want to ask is, where does this stuff come from? That really is the main question. So as an example, I am adding to my niche of shoes, and I'm going to be selling jeans. So jeans are extremely common. They're everywhere. A lot of people wear jeans. There's a lot of new players in the jean game. So for me, I need to learn as much as I can about this category. Like, what happened, where are they most commonly donated? What happens to new and pre-owned overstock? one of my friends just offered me 25,000 pairs of jeans, which is also something that happens once you start letting people know what niches you sell in. So people know that I sell shoes. Most of my inventory comes from stores reaching out to me or me reaching out to them and saying, can I sell your overstock? The same thing is gonna happen with jeans because I just added that to my recipe book for reselling. So let me know in the comment section below what category you want to focus on, one at a time. And I'm letting you know there's so much information. You can do more than one, just not more than one at a time usually. So I'll see you guys on the next episode. Until next time, make progress daily. Peace.